I'd like to open the Board of Health meeting for Monday, April 13th, 2020 at 6:01. The first items, before I get there, in keeping with the ongoing emergency order from Governor Charlie Baker to limit gatherings and maximize social distancing, and under legislation passed to address remote board meetings during the emergency declaration, this meeting will be conducted over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To join a remote meeting using your computer, click the URL at the top of the meeting agenda or copy and paste it into your browser. Okay, so the first item on our agenda for tonight is for two items, we need to restate the agenda as they were posted on March 16th, past the 48-hour posting limit under emergency circumstances. A would be the declaration by the Select Board and Board of Health of a state of emergency in Easton. The second item would be authorization and direction to allow the Director of Health and Community Services to act for the Board of Health in cases where it's statutorily allowed and to execute all essential routine executive functions on behalf of the Board of Health, provided execution is in coordination with the chair, and copy of action taken on behalf of board is recorded and provided to the full board within 24 hours. Next on the agenda, we have the novel coronavirus or COVID-19. We have an update. Is that you, Kristen?
Sure. So as you know, there's been a lot going on. We currently are at 112 cases here in Easton. You all have been receiving updates from me a couple of times a week with the efforts that we're taking to help reinforce a lot of what the governor is saying as far as public spaces and actions that everyone can take on their own to maintain their own safety, maintain their family's safety, and help us flatten out the curve. Much of this information is available on the Board of Health website. We have a new COVID-19 website that is constantly being updated. There are a couple of things that are still are not worked out yet on the state level. There is no clear path for reporting COVID deaths. There's no clear person that is designated with filing that. So it's going to be a while before any of that data starts to mesh together on their front. They're actually using vital statistics data, so the death certificates, to hopefully close that loop. We are one of the first in the state. We were in line for the rollout. Basically, I think it was Friday the 6th that the governor spoke about a volunteer force of 1,400 volunteers who basically are coming from all the universities and majoring in public health that will be assisting with the case follow-ups. That is coming online slowly. That will be a big help to us because every time we receive a positive, there is a good amount of follow-up and contact that needs to be made with the positive test results. That involves 2 full pages, a full accounting of their whereabouts and their contacts for 48 hours before they experience their first symptom. And then all of that data needs to get entered into the state Maven database, and contacts need to be then traced from there. So it's not a quick, easy process. So having the extra help, in addition to the fact that the school nurses are helping us out quite a bit right now, and keeping us rolling, it's going to be a big help once they get that up and rolling, because they will be able to directly input it into a separate platform. Right now, the information the nurses are collecting, I have to then go back and do the data entry, as myself and our public health nurse are the only 2 people with Maven access. That's another issue we're hoping to change. and beef up by the end of this week, bringing on additional members of existing staff and hopefully getting them trained for that purpose as well. That's about all I have, unless somebody has a specific question.
Anybody? No. Okay, I don't, thanks for everything you guys are doing. I know you've been working beyond overtime. Should we move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the Borah, Tick-Borne and Mosquito-Borne illnesses?
Yes, so just when we have enough going on, Tripoli is looming on the horizon. I would like to, Mark and I have already had one conference call with Bristol County Mosquito Control to discuss the plans for this spring, which will be twofold in their larviciding efforts. Mark, did you want to speak about some of the specifics?
Sure. What they're going to do is they're going to larvicide a larger area first, which is the same area that they've done every spring. And then they're going to, with the initial liquid larvicide that they use in the aerial application, which will cover Rain in West Bridgewater and a portion of South Easton. And then they're going to go back a couple of weeks later with a pellet form, which is in a smaller area, but the more critical area where the mosquitoes actually grow. And they're going to go back and do that area in a phase 2. So they would do more, the pelletized stuff. They figure that when that hits the water, it'll spread and get under the tree root system to the habitat where the actual mosquito larvae are growing. So that's what we're looking to do. And they're looking to do this in the mid part of April to do that. They will contact the police station and let them know. So if people call the police, said, why is there a plane flying over our head? The police station will know. So of our police and surrounding towns.
Okay, thank you. So the first is the spray, which is now, and then 2 weeks later, the pellets to more specific areas.
Yeah, a smaller area, concentrated area. The pellets are, she explained, I believe the cost was about $3 for like a few acres for the liquid, and it's like $35 for a few acres for the pellets. So the cost is exponential. It's $85, I believe was my notes, for the pelletized stuff. So they're trying to concentrate it on where a habitat where the mosquitoes really grow.
Okay. I do have a question that was brought up to me. If there's an in-ground pool that isn't being used, and there's a foot or two of water in it, and the homeowner isn't doing anything to drain that, is that something that the Board of Health would be involved with?
Yes.
Okay.
It gets a little tricky. Can't really walk into a fenced-in backyard, but you can knock on a door and to explain that standing water breeds mosquitoes. What you have is a large area of mosquito breeding area, and then you can treat it with pucks that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace Hardware, and you treat it, and the pucks will give a lifespan on them anywhere from like 30 to 90 days just to treat the water.
Okay.
Or decommission the pool.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. So then we can move on to our betterments. We don't have to take anything out of order, do we? I know there was talk of it possibly doing the body art sooner, but no. We'll just stay in this order. Okay.
Mark, do you have any indication that the body art individual will be coming tonight?
I do not.
Okay. So you might as well go in order then, Lynn.
Okay. All right. So the first betterment application is for 42 Western Ave, and it's a request for an increase of $5,500, and that's on page
15.
What is it?
Well, mine, it says page 15. Basically, the homeowner was already approved for the previous amount of 30,000, but the invoices are coming in $5,389.25 to be exact over. So he's looking for additional funds to cover the remaining balance.
Okay. Which we've done that for similar amounts before, and there's no problems you can see with that, Tim?
Nope. And the work's already been done. It's complete. It's, they just need this additional funds to get their bills paid.
Okay. Would anybody care to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the increase of $5,500 for 42 Western Ave.
That's Chris Mills. Aria, Cyrus?
Seconded.
All those in favor, LeBlanc, aye.
Mills, aye.
Zayas, aye.
Okay. All right, so let's go on to our second betterment application, which is 10 Prospect Street.
Yes, so this work's already, perk test has already been done. The design is already in place and they just need to upgrade their system. It is in failure. And they're just looking for the traditional $30,000 amount. They're in good standing with the town with their bills.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the betterment application for 10 Prospect Street. Chris?
Second.
LeBlanc, third. Everybody in favor?
Mills, aye.
Aye.
Zayas, aye.
So do we say our last names at the beginning
When you vote, you state your last name and then what you're voting.
okay, last name first. Okay,
Correct.
all right.
I just have one question regarding this process and the betterment. I have another homeowner who was already approved for $40,000 in a previous Board of Health meeting. But unfortunately, he's getting much higher quotes. And he is actually gonna be looking for an additional $20,000. I tentatively told him right now he's on for the May 11th meeting. Are we gonna continue to do that during this time and just continue to do that and have it get approved at a board meeting? Because I know Kristen and we talked a little bit about it, the funds, normally it's 30,000. In this case, it's almost double.
Why
I
is there
think-
so much money?
He's getting high quotes, but I don't have this exact plan in front of me. I do know it's a pump system. He's up against wetlands. So I think he's got some conservation
Yeah.
that went into the engineering as well.
Am I the only one that thinks that's beefy for residential? I'm just curious. I'm not, accusing.
We've had a couple that are similar. Unfortunately, not too many, but there have been a couple. And there might have been some tree work that's involved as well with this job.
When they involve conservation issues, the engineering basically gets doubled.
No, I know.
So the cost of just the cost of the engineer and his work doubles. If they have to do replantings, if there's other things that have to be done in order to help comply with the conservation order, that gets added into it as well. We have, as Tim stated, we have had a few in the past that have been high. We do take a good look at them and look for anything that is not in keeping with what absolutely needs to be done. And that's the standard we always apply. And we've had others come in front of you that have wanted ornamental landscaping incorporated. I know I've dealt with a couple that have wanted a brand new deck. So we do our best to make sure that the costs are legitimate.
So we'll know more once Tim has the plans in front of him. And
Well,
we'll,
he submitted his letter. Unfortunately, it didn't come in time to be included on this month's meeting. But so I told him at a minimum, you're going to be on the May 11th meeting. But he is already looking for additional funds just because of the quotes he's getting.
okay, so we'll look at that in May.
Mhm.
All right.
Sure.
Is that what we're saying? We're going to continue to do it through our monthly meeting? Okay. Yes? Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So then we have the application for the body app practitioner permit. Mary O'Malley. Do we want to skip it and come back in case she shows up, or does it matter?
I think Mark can probably give you the history and an introduction.
Okay.
Okay. This is for the 285 Washington Street, Andre Rivera Spa. The owner is, the course she took is the exact same course that this girl took. And in our regulation, it says you need a college passing C letter or better grade of anatomy and physiology, unless getting a variance from you, the board, to accept the training that they've done for permanent makeup. So knowing that, I know that she's done the exact same training that I already reviewed for her boss, the owner of Andre Robert. I don't have an issue with it. She's also up to date with her bloodborne pathogens training, her CPR, and so I wouldn't have an issue with it. But we do need to, in the regulations, you do have to allow the variance for the use of her training in lieu of the other requirement.
I remember that.
So historically, you have accepted this training in the past
Yes.
as a substitute for the actual college level anatomy class.
Yes, I remember. Does anybody care to make a motion?
Oh,
Make a
so I'm
motion.
sorry, I have a question and you probably answered it. My internet is very poor. So is this a twofold question? Is this for the permit and for variance? Is this a twofold
Yes.
question? Yes. Okay.
So you need to issue the variance,
Okay.
and in the regulation, we need approval from you to allow her to get a permit.
Okay. Then I make a motion for the variance approval for the acceptance of an alternative course, bloodborne pathogens training and infection control for body art professionals in conjunction with permanent cosmetic makeup in lieu of college level anatomy and physiology class in order to obtain a body art practitioner, tattoo practitioner permit per the request received from Mary O'Malley of Andre Robert Salon and Day Spa at 285 Washington Street in Easton. Chris?
Second,
All those in favor? LeBlanc? Aye.
Zayas, aye.
Mills, aye.
Okay. So do we now have to do the permit, or did you say that in order to?
That was just the variance.
That was just the variance.
I make a motion to accept the application for body art practitioner permanent makeup permit for Mary O'Malley at Andre Robert Salon and Day Spa at 285 Washington Street in Easton. Chris?
Second,
LeBlanc, all those in favor? Aye.
Zayas, aye.
Mills, aye.
Okay, and next on the agenda, we have the Meadowview Commons 318 Turnpike Street variance request for Meadowview Commons per the letterhead dated March 3rd, 2020, submitted by Todd Pelling. And that is on page 20?
So if you'll recall, prior to the meeting that we had on March 16th, we had had a discussion item where we went over the basics of this variance request. Because of the layout, because of changes in the roads, there is a series of tanks that have more cover on them than is actually just allowed. So it requires a variance because it's new construction. We then had to table it at the meeting on the 16th because we were only dealing with the emergency proclamations. So tonight's vote, all the abutters have been notified. As we discussed in our previous meeting, there really was no way for this to be avoided. And this is just actually giving you an opportunity to take the vote and clean up the variance that we had discussed.
Okay, I do remember that. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody care to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the variance request for Meadowview Commons at 318 Turnpike Street per the letter dated March 3rd, 2020, submitted by Todd Pelling PE.
Second,
All those in favor, LeBlanc? Aye.
Zayas, aye.
Mills eye.
Okay, and then the last, I think it's the last item on the agenda, 290 Turnpike Street, a variance request for J.K. Holmgren Engineering for 290 Turnpike Street per the letter dated February 25th, 2020, submitted by J.K. Holmgren Engineering. And I think that's page 23.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, what we have here is a similar situation on a property. It's new construction, and on the plan, the schedule of inverts is listed in one corner, and the profile is listed on another corner. There was a typo in the profile, and it was installed a little deeper than it should have been. So with the amount of cover over it, it exceeds the 3 feet maximum cover, which would be okay if it was a repair, because it's within the 6 feet threshold. I believe it's 4.5 feet or 5 feet. I don't have the plan in front of me yet, but that from memory, that's what I know. But we wanted to clean this up. It's an H20 loading tank, so it does have the capacity to have the 4.5, 5 feet of cover over it. It works. The pitches work from the building to the tank, and the tank to the pump chamber. The pump chamber to the field. So it was just another thing that we needed to clean up. And it's because it's new construction, it does have to go through the board as a variance. Any questions?
Is there any potential health risk with approving this?
None whatsoever.
I make a motion to approve the variance request for J.K. Holmgren Engineering for 290 Turnpike Street per the letter dated February 25th, 2020, submitted by J.K. Holmgren Engineering. Chris?
Second.
All those in favor, LeBlanc, aye.
Zayas, aye.
Mills eye.
Okay. And then if I go back to the agenda for tonight, I don't have anything else other than any reports by our health agents. Anything?
No, we're definitely staying busy. We're definitely staying on top of this. We are doing our best to address any complaints, any concerns that the public has that are either submitted to our office directly via email or that may be submitted through our the COVID-19 dedicated email address, covid19@easton.ma.us, which is also being staffed and addressed. Other than that, I do want to draw your attention to on the, I believe on the agenda were minutes that needed to be approved.
Oh. Okay.
Is this for subsections A and B?
I think it was for our last month's minutes, maybe.
It's on the second page. On the second page of the agenda, it's March 9th and March 16th.
Oh, yes, you're right. Does anybody want to make that motion? I can myself.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Excuse, that's to be accepting the minutes.
Oh, do you want to go with that, Aria?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the Board of Health meeting dated Monday, March 9th, 2020, and Monday, March 16th, 2020.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, LeBlanc.
Zayas, aye.
Mills eye.
Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't see that because it was on the, I usually see that up top. All right. Anything else?
No, our next meeting date is May
11th.
11th.
I
And
have one thing. It's not huge. Is there any way we could pick a day or two a week where we'd get updates? Just like an email or something? Because I know it's been sporadic and I know you guys have been out straight swamped and everything like that. And I don't know about Aria or Lynn, but I get calls all the time from people that I don't know, don't have the internet or what, but asking what's going on. And you know, I'm sure you just saved the updates for when there's something important to put out there, which makes complete sense. But is there any way we could pick like one day of the week that we get like an update or something? Is that
So the week before last, I provided you an update on Thursday, and last Tuesday, I sent an email saying every Tuesday and Thursday I would send an update. So
okay?
last Tuesday, you got an update. Last Thursdays didn't get sent till Friday morning, just because things
No,
get
that's right.
crazy.
So
My goal is Tuesday and Thursdays,
so then just to clarify, it'll just be Tuesday, Thursday. We'll get
unless something pressing
right,
comes up.
right. Okay, cool. All right, just
If
following up.
there are any if you receive questions from the public, please just forward them over to us or shoot me an email,
Okay.
and we'll try to get an answer. Especially if there's something missing on the internet that people are looking for. If there's something missing on our website that people are looking for that we can get up there, we'd be happy to.
A lot of people, I'm not sure why, are concerned with the numbers, which the numbers really don't. I'm not a big numbers person because I think it creates different false senses of security or lack thereof. But that seems to be like one of the major questions that I get, and then a lot of other just random stuff. But
The number is updated every night on the website. We were doing it by 6 o'clock. Now we're trying to do it by 4:30. So with the exception of yesterday, since the COVID-19 website went live, the number has been updated daily.
awesome,
So
thank you.
Kristen, I know you guys were planning like a health fair along with a Sharps return. I'm assuming that's all canceled at this point.
correct.
Just
Correct.
checking.
Best laid plans. Yeah, we had great plans for this spring, but
I know.
that would be definitely a violation of all the social distancing measures that we're taking at this time.
Right.
So,
Is that going to be a reschedule or just a cancel at this point? Do you know?
I would love to reschedule it, but we don't know when we'll be able to do that. Obviously, we'll work our Sharps collection is tied to the Household Hazardous Waste Day. We're monitoring what's going on with that. Once they make a decision and once they, potentially decide what they're going to do with that, we'll try to piggyback something on as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? I'd like to make a motion. Do we have to stay on for 2 minutes till 6:30? Are we good?
Nope, the town clerk replied that you're okay.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting for April 13th, 2020 at 6:29 p.m.
Second.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Sorry. Second?
I seconded
I
it.
can.
All those in favor? Aye.
Guys, aye.
Bill's eye.
LeBlanc, aye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Stay healthy.